And here we have two snow throwers in their natural habitat. The one on the left features a prominent horn on the chute, signifying that it's the male. Oh, and the mating ritual has begun. So seriously, I picked up these two snowblowers a while back. The plan is, if I can get both of them running, I want to keep one for myself and then sell the other one. Now if you're just here for the carb rebuild part, I'll put the timestamp down on the screen, and you can just skip ahead to that part. Otherwise, I'm going to lay some sauce down on these for a bit. So these are mid to late 90s era Craftsman, and this is kind of at the tail end of that era, right before they turned into Craftsman. So these are still pretty good quality. They're 21-inch auger. They have a 5 horsepower Tecumseh 2-cycle engine in them, which is part of the reason I grabbed these, because at least here in America we can't get 2-cycle snowblowers anymore. And I'm pretty familiar with working on the Tecumseh engines. The carburetors on them are all basically the same design. They're all pretty much the same. So if you can rebuild one of them, you can pretty much rebuild all of them. Now these are single-stage snowblowers, so they're a lot more simpler than the dual-stage ones. The way these work, you have this auger here that spins, and the two angled parts on the side, they kind of pull the snow in to the center. And that flat part in the center, when that spins, that yeets the snow out the chute. Now single-stage blowers sometimes kind of get a bad rap in my opinion. I think a lot of it is due to lack of maintenance. The auger has this rubber paddle thing that is riveted to it, so the rubber edge kind of squeegees your driveway as you're blowing snow with it. And this will wear away over time, and once that rubber wears away, it's just not going to work anymore. Here on this one you can see we've still got about a finger's width of rubber there, so this one still has some life in it. So once that wears out, to replace them you have to drill out all of these rivets here and then rivet or bolt the new ones back in place. And a lot of people don't want to do that anymore. They'll just throw the snowblower out and start telling everybody, "Oh, that snowblower was crap, it doesn't blow no snow," when in reality they just needed to replace the rubber edge on it. I mean, when you wear out the tires on your car, you don't say that your car is a crappy car, you put new tires on it. But thankfully these still have some life left on them, so I'm not going to have to replace the rubber today. My plan with these is to do kind of a quick and dirty carb rebuild on them. Hopefully we won't have to remove the carb from the engine at all. Of course, when I bought these, the guy said, "Oh yeah, they ran fine last year." But they wouldn't start. One of them was completely out of gas. The other one has a little bit of gas still in it. To take these apart and access the carb, we need to flip the snowblower kind of up on its nose. So here you can see I've got the chute angled all the way to the right, and then I've got a couple pieces of scrap lumber up underneath it to support it. You do not want to tip this over and have it resting on the chute, because the chute's plastic, and if you damage that, you're not going to be able to replace that part. To get to the carb, we're going to have to remove the bottom panel. There are 3 bolts up here that we have to take out. 3 bolts on the left-hand side, and 4 bolts on the right-hand side. And then I found one more hidden bolt above the left-hand wheel that I had to use a ratchet to remove. And with all the bolts removed, we can now remove the bottom cover. You want to kind of go down and then out. Be mindful of the choke lever so you don't bend it. This is the rebuild kit that we'll be using. I'll put all the part numbers for it that I know of up on the screen. I call this the quick and dirty rebuild because it's basically just a gasket kit. These work on most Tecumseh carbs. Like I said, they're all very similar, but yours might be different. You should always look up the correct kit for your carb. We're going to use a 1/2-inch ratchet to remove the nut on the bottom of the float bowl. Now that nut on the bottom is also your main jet, so be careful, do not drop it. The float bowl should just pop off. I've got a rag underneath here to catch any extra fuel that leaks out. And let's see what kind of crud is in there. This actually doesn't look too bad. There's a little bit of a goo around where the drain valve is, but it's not too bad. So here I'm going to use a pin tool to push the pin out that holds the float in place. And I'm trying to be careful here because this particular carb has a little extra coil spring on the float. And you'll see in a second where it flies out. And now we can remove the float. And you'll see here I also drop the needle. The rebuild kit comes with a new needle, so it's not that big of a deal. And here you can see all of the old parts. That coil spring in the middle there, I'm not sure how necessary that is. Not all of their carbs have that spring. And in the past I've lost them completely and didn't put them back in, and didn't have any issues. I think it's there to provide some sort of a preload on the float. So here I vacuumed away most of those spider webs that were in there. And now I'm going to take some carb cleaner spray and clean out the main jet hole and the hole where the needle and seat is. We also want to clean out the main jet with carb cleaner and also clean off the float, since we'll be reusing both of these. You also want to hold the float up to your ear and shake it. If you hear any sloshing around, then the float has a leak and it's no good. If you have to replace your float, I would get the plastic float. The plastic float won't leak. Here's a close-up of the main jet. One of the common issues with these is those ports on there will get clogged up. So you can see at the base there are two holes that go all the way through that are kind of large. And then if we look up at the top of the threads, there's a third hole that's a lot smaller. That third hole is pretty easy to miss. I usually take a wire from a wire brush and carefully poke it through there to make sure it's not clogged up. Now I cleaned the float bowl up off camera with carb spray, but even afterwards there was still a ridge of this thick material around the edge where the gasket goes. So I ended up taking a Dremel tool with a tiny wire wheel on it and just kind of brushed all of that off. I also wanted to point out another potential issue you can have with these carbs that is not addressed with the rebuild that we're going to be doing. On the bottom of these they have this little drain valve. The idea is you push up on it and it will drain out any fuel that's left in the float bowl. So at the end of the season you can run the carburetor dry and park it for storage. But if that valve hasn't been used for a while and there's any kind of gunk built up inside the carburetor, when you press up on it, that gunk gets in between the seal and now it won't seal anymore and it'll start leaking. The rebuild kit that I'm using does not come with a replacement gasket for that drain valve. Now you can buy them. I'll put the part number up on the screen. And you can also buy the entire drain valve assembly as well. If you don't want the valve, you can actually get a float bowl without a valve for less money than buying the valve kit. Hopefully I won't need to replace those on mine. Another issue that's not addressed with the rebuild kit is the emulsion tube. If you look in the center of the picture here, you see that little blue circle. That's the emulsion tube. Around it is a O-ring, and up on the top of the tube there is another O-ring that you can't get to. So the only way to replace that is to remove the emulsion tube, and when you do that you usually destroy the tube. You can get replacements for them. They are color coded, so just get the same color as the one in your existing carb. We're not going to be replacing that today. My experience is those don't really go bad. They might get clogged up, but the O-rings rarely go bad. Next, we need to remove the seat where the needle valve goes on the carb so we can replace it. There's a special tool for this. It has a little hooky thing on one end, and then on the other end it has a brass part that you use to install the new seat. I'll put the part numbers for these up on the screen. There is also a knockoff version that's a lot cheaper, but I don't have any experience with the cheaper one. To remove the seat, we're just going to take our little hooky tool, stick it in there, and then yank it out, and the seat should come right out. If you don't want to buy the special tool, you can just use a screw or a screw starter, just thread it in there and use that to pull the seat out. Some guys will shoot compressed air in through the fuel inlet fitting to blow the seat out, but I recommend just getting the proper tool. After removing the seat, I'm going to go ahead and spray some carb cleaner in there, just to make sure it's nice and clean. To install the new seat, we're going to place it on the end of our tool. You do have to be careful because there are two sides to the seat. One side has a ridge on it. You want the side with the ridge facing up. I also like to put a drop of oil on the seat just to help it slide in there. Then you just take your tool and press it in. You'll feel it when it bottoms out. And that's it. And now here we're ready to put the float back in. Now I am kind of doing this wrong, I know, but that little coil spring thingy was giving me trouble. So what I did here was I put the needle in the needle valve, and then I'm going to here try to clip the float onto it as I install it, also trying to keep that little coil spring from flying out. So in the end, I did get it in here. The proper way to do it would have been to clip the needle valve onto the float and then put it in there, but I was fighting that little coil spring. And then we're putting the pin in, so this pin has to go through the coil spring, so I had a little bit of trouble with that, but eventually I got it in there. Now I'm just kind of eyeballing the adjustment of the float here. The proper way to do it would be to use the flat spot on the carb tool and make sure that the float just kind of barely touches it when you push up on it. Since we're reusing the original float, I don't feel the need to set that here. Next we're going to be putting the bowl gasket on. I also like to put just a very light coating of oil on the gasket before installing it. And you're going to have to kind of stretch this out over the carb and make sure it's fully seated and stays in place. When it's a brand new gasket, they're kind of tight. Now this part I'm also technically doing wrong. If you look at the bottom of the float, you see it's got this little step thing there. Now I'm installing it with the step parallel to the pin for the float hinge. But I did look in an old manual, and it says there that the line for that step should be 90 degrees to the fuel fitting. So I'm installing mine about 15 degrees off. And like I said, I haven't had any issues doing it this way. If you install it in the wrong orientation, it won't allow the float to work correctly. And now we install the main jet with the new gasket on there from the kit. Just thread this in here and then tighten it down. You don't want it too tight, don't over tighten it, just kind of get it snug. You'll feel it when it bottoms out. Before we try and start this up, I also want to replace the fuel filter here. On this engine, the fuel lines ended up being really dried out. I had to cut the old fuel filter out. Normally I would just replace the entire sections of fuel line with new ones, but I didn't have any 1/4 inch fuel line here. I only had a short section of used line, which I ended up using that on that section that goes to the tank. And we're also going to install a fuel shutoff valve. If you look at my other videos, I have a full video on how and why you should install a fuel shutoff valve. And yes, you'll be able to access the fuel shutoff valve through the spark plug opening on the top. You don't have to take the bottom off every time. And here is the fuel filter that I use. This is Briggs & Scrotum part number. I'll put the part numbers up on the screen. It's the same thing as the Tecumseh one, it's just a different color. And you can get them in either a 1-pack or a 5-pack. I'm also going to check the spark plug before we start it up. That can give us some kind of an idea of how the engine was running when it was last running. I'll show you what it looked like. This one wasn't too bad, so I just put it back in. So now we're ready to see if it'll fire up. I'm going to wait to see if it runs before we put the bottom cover back on. That way if I have to fix something again, I don't have to take the bottom cover off all over again. It does look like I'm priming it excessively, Anytime you have the fuel lines disconnected and there's no fuel in the carb, you gotta prime it a few extra times to get the fuel flowing. Now here, I do have to admit I did screw up a little bit. I had the choke in the wrong spot. You'll see here, once I move the choke over to the correct position, then it fires right up. And there we go. Now it is smoking quite a bit. I think that's because of when we had it tipped over earlier. Any unburnt fuel and oil that was in the crankcase, when we tipped it over, that kind of made its way into the cylinder. And I think that's just burning off now. After turning off the choke and letting it run for a few minutes, the smoke cleared up. And here's a quick clip of the auger engaging. That was another thing I was worried about. There's a belt drive for the auger. Thankfully that's in good shape, it works fine. So now that we know it runs, we can go ahead and put the bottom cover back on. I did let this sit for 24 hours to see if anything leaked out of that carb. I got a couple of drips from that drain valve. So I am going to have to order those parts. I might just go ahead and get the float bowl without the drain valve and put that on there instead. There are a couple other wear items on this snowblower I wanted to mention. It does have a drive belt for the auger. And you can get those on Amazon. They look pretty inexpensive. And there's also a bearing for the auger. I think it's more of a plastic bushing. I might go ahead and order a couple of those for mine, since mine do have a little bit of play in them. And then there's also a scraper blade. I did notice that a lot of these parts come up as Murray parts, so I'm pretty sure that this snowblower was made by Murray for Craftsman. There's one other issue on this I need to fix before I can put it back into service. One of the wing nuts that holds the handle on here is really seized up. It won't turn. So I'm going to clamp it with a pair of vice grips and then use a big ass wrench to turn it and hopefully get this unscrewed. And I don't care if I break the wing nut here. I can always grab one off of a junk lawnmower or just put a regular bolt and nut on there instead. Here I'm using a thread restorer die to clean up the threads. I highly recommend these tools if you ever have to work with rusty bolts and nuts. They clean out the threads and kind of form them back into shape without removing material. The Craftsman set that I use is no longer available, but I found out they're made by a company called Lang, and you can get them on Amazon. And next we'll do the same process on the nut part. This seemed like it was the part that had the most rust on it. And you can see now, after cleaning out the threads, it spins on and off there freely. So we're good to go. So that's one of them down. Now I just got to repeat the whole process on the second one, and then decide which one I want to keep, which one I want to sell. All in all, I'm pretty happy how this turned out. So thanks everybody for watching. Be sure to stay tuned for more videos. I'm going to be doing some more small engine repair videos in the future. See you later. Bye.